Right, we've got the first set of numbers, so Zakas timed it perfectly, viewers. So let's quickly get a sense of the first set of numbers, and these are projections after phase one. So phase one projections, these are the mega exit poll numbers. Phase one projections, 60 to 70 seats in phase one. The NDA out of the 121 that went to the ballot, so they are running away. Phase 1 was the NDA's weakest in 2020. They actually made gains in phase 2 and 3. This time around, Bihar goes to polls in just 2 phases. The INDIA alliance is 45 to 55. They had better numbers the last time around. Jan Suraj not opening its account, others not opening its account. So it's a two-way race so far as the first 121 seats is concerned. But if it is 60 to 70 seats for the NDA, are they already home? Are they already home before the stronger of the two phases manifests for the NDA? And if it's nearly 70% voter turnout, then is this a runaway? Is this a better performance? And we'll also try and see if this is because of the fact that within the NDA, the JDU turns a far better strike rate than the last time around. Is that the factor that's contributing to both the BJP, JDU, and of course the alliance partners in the NDA, the LJP, the HAM, all doing well? Did they come into play in phase 1? We'll have to wait and watch. These are the first set of numbers that we are putting out. 60 to 70 seats for the NDA, 45 to 55 for the INDIA. We have a party-wise breakup. We'll try and play that out also. What is the party-wise breakup as to which party is doing well within the first phases? We'll try and put that out also. So out of the 121 seats out of 243, in the first phase, the numbers at the News 18 mega exit poll say that the NDA will get 60 to 70 seats, the INDIA 45 to 55, so the 2 to 3 ratio somewhere is being maintained. And if it's a runaway and the higher end for the NDA and the lower end for the INDIA, that means the target of 160 that's been set could be breached by the time the 243 seats results come through. Now, if that happens, it will be a historic win and a historic election for the NDA at a time when the BJP centrally is seen at its weakest in the last 12 years, in the last 3 terms. And at a time when many thought that Nitish Babu does not have the magic, does he once again prove all his detractors and the political pundits wrong and come back stronger than ever before? At a time when the opposition said, ye thak gaye hain, ye so gaye hain, ye bimar hain. All these things were talked about Nitish Kumar, but is he sharp, is he alert, and does Bihar still echo or resonate with Nitish? Now, quickly, your thoughts, Rashid Kidwai, is this possible in phase 1 last time around?
We have a breakup of the individual seats.
We're just waiting for those numbers to come. We'll try and get those numbers here on the big screen.
Do you want to go through?
Yeah. You got the numbers, so let's take the conversation
So the numbers
forward.
of the individual parties, and this is the point that Rahul was also making. So the BJP in this phase is contesting 48 seats. The number for the BJP is 20 to 30. The JDU is contesting 57 seats. It's contesting more than the BJP, about 9 more than the BJP. The JDU's number is 35 to 45 out of 57. So the JDU strike rate is higher than that of the BJP. Smaller parties, again, Chirag Paswan, anywhere between 0 to 5 out of the 13 seats he's contesting. On the other side, opposition side, the RJD is fighting in 72 seats, of which it's projected to get 25 to 35 seats. The INC is fighting 24 seats. The Congress party is projected to get only 5 to 10 seats. All the left parties put together, CPI, CPM, CPI-ML, are fighting 14 seats together. They're expected to get anywhere... No, sorry, they're fighting 14 plus, I think about 25 seats between all of them. They are expected to get 10 seats. So you're right about the point that you made, that the JDU strike rate could well end up becoming higher than that of the BJP. Of course, like I said, the JDU is contesting more seats in this case.
It's there at the bottom, that 35 to 45 seats for the JDU at the bottom of the screen.
The fact is, and please bear me out on this, that it appears that the LJP is actually having a knock-on effect on the alliance, and so is the HAM and the RLM, specific, not the HAM, but the LJP and the other. Vote conversion for JDU seems to have helped the JDU quite a bit.
Maybe, but that's like, I don't have an answer to this question. See, I think if this number holds, then what we are seeing is that LJP and HAM are not performing as well as they were expected to perform. They did really well in Lok Sabha, where LJP actually won, I think, 7 out of 7 Lok Sabha seats or 5 out of 5 Lok Sabha seats. But at Vidhan Sabha level, they are not being able to pull up. This could be One, that perhaps the Dalit voters stay with them, but they are not able to attract the upper caste or EBC, one of those two voters with them. And if you remember, like the JDU, like Nitish Kumar and Chirag Paswan, friendship is not there, right? So we don't know what might be happening.
So I did a round of calls after the first phase of polling because everybody does a reporting meeting right after that, all parties. So I also did my rounds with people. And the first thing that was said even from the BJP leadership was that yes, JDU's strike rate is going to be as good as the BJP strike rate. The JDU said that the all NDA meetings that were done in the run-up to the polls has helped them because they were really counting on this time around the LJP being on board, and that those 32 seats where they were hurt, they're planning to recover. Even if they recover 15 of them, they said we're pretty much home. But one important thing that your findings don't reflect is a lot of worry in the NDA camp about Prashant Kishor. There were at least 2 seats in Patna city that the NDA was worried about कि ये फंस गई हैं.
But it's showing 0 though. Zero seats.
Yeah, but their reporting, their assessment was that Prashant Kishor has managed to get, even in Patna, he has managed to get
seats,
some.
but they might get enough votes to
A
damage
certain
the
amount
chances.
of vote share. But in terms of the, we're seeing the party break up at the bottom of the screen, viewers, and you can have a look at that. See, out of the 60 to 70 NDA seats, 20 to 30 to the BJP, 35 to 45 to the JDU, the LJP is 0 to 5. Now, the LJP factor, Chirag Paswan, overweightage of 29 seats, did he actually merit that? That's a question many people are asking. The last time he was the attack dog who was sent after or set after Nitish Kumar in phase 1, and before they tried to soothe things down and calm things down, phase 2 and 3. That's when they said no, Nitish Babu and Chirag
the thing is,
backed off. But
Anand, the one factor that the BJP will probably be looking over its shoulder, I don't know, this is just phase 1. The JDU does well, obviously the dependency on the JDU increases. Let's not forget that even at the centre.
I think they are very clear this time that they don't mind the dependency.
I'm just saying that it's an interesting...
always about revolving around Nitish Kumar and JDU. Yeah. If JDU, does well, then obviously there is no way that, the alliance would not win, the ruling alliance would not win. But I find, I'm not contesting the numbers of this survey. After all, we must remember this is an exit poll and this is a kind of, estimated projection. There is something is different. I mean, we are saying in Mahagathbandhan, how is that left is doing so well? In the sense that the strike rate is about 50%.
No, but the left did well last time around also. The left did well last time. In fact, the left had as much seats as I think the Congress. They had 15 in all, and the Congress had 19.
Zaka, last time it was a very close election. This time it is become, what if we go by this, it's a one-sided election.
Well, yeah,
in that sense.
If the same trend holds, you're looking at 130 to 140.
But within the Mahagathbandhan, the left seems to be far more potent in its strike rate, and there's a reason why it was fighting and demanding more seats compared to the others, because of what it thought it was getting a sense on ground, that the left parties were gaining ground, and the hardcore left and communists were coming back and saying grouping together rather than drifting towards the Congress or the RJD. They were ready in these pockets where the left is doing its work on ground.
No, the other thing that's a constant from last time, in fact, it's worse for the Congress party, is that their strike rate is going to be even worse than compared to 2020.
They have, in terms of ticket distribution, they have undergone a very big change from being, upper caste party primarily
jettisoned the upper class.
It doesn't seem to be working. They're still at 5 to 10 out of the...
Look, I think it's better to wait till 14.
I'm just asking for all the mahal that they tried to build. What is the purchase on ground if this is the impact on phase 1? Rahul?
No, obviously there is a crisis there for the Congress. It's messaging completely off the mark. Look, I mean, one has to preface all one's remarks by suggesting that let's wait till the 14th, but fundamentally, it does...
The only difference in Rahul Shivshankar's case is they take clips of him and put it on Twitter. Poor Mr. Kesri didn't have to deal with that.
परिणाम चौंका देने वाले होंगे, हम चौंकेंगे या वो चौंकेंगे देखेंगे.
No, but the fact of the matter is that, look, fundamentally, the Congress is not clearly adding to the numbers of the, I mean, if you just look at the numbers, the RJD's conversion rate is not that bad. It's not hopeless. It's veering towards the 50%
Rahul, there is one thing that the Congress has managed to do in this election, which is that completely keep out the AIMIM of the fray.
Yeah.
uncontrovertibly, the entire Muslim vote, minority vote, has gone towards the Mahagathbandhan, largely because of Rahul Gandhi and the Congress. And the stances that he has taken, not just in this election, but progressively in the past.
But Nisla, the problem is this: in 5 years, if they have gone to an even lesser strike rate than what they won last time, 19 out of 70, this time it could be 10 out of 61.
Well, that's the problem of not building your political program.
How does that justify, whatever position he's
takes
taking?
time.
No, we try to see if we can get Umesh Jha back on the thing because he's putting out the numbers. But these numbers, the projections at the News 18 mega exit polls show that the left strike rate is better even than the RJD in phase 1.
Yeah.
That's a trend. Even though they're contesting lesser number of seats, but 10 to 15 seats out of the 30 contested, it's quite intense. Yeah.
But compared to 2020, if this number holds, the strike rate for every constituent within MGB is lower. Even last time, RJD has a 50% strike rate, left had more than 50% strike rate, and Congress had like around 20-25% strike rate. This time, everyone's strike rate is low in MGB.
No sir, ये देखिए 22 सीटें लेफ्ट का ग्रुपिंग CPI ML CPI CPIM.
हाँ तो 22 में 10 जीत रहे ना तो 50%
22 में 10 से 15 का प्रोजेक्शन अगर 15 जीत गया तो आप मान लीजिए 12 पकड़ लीजिए.
हाँ तो 50% हुआ ना, but last time it was 70%.
हाँ.
But their vote is also a much more concentrated vote in the southern part of the state, the old Naxal belt as it was known.
Right. So there are some other projections also that have come in, viewers. So let's get a quick check on the poll of polls. News 18 is also doing the mega poll of polls. So what are the others reporting? Some of the other pollsters, what are they saying? Most of them are calling it in favor of the NDA. Some of them, it's a runaway win. Look at Matriz. Matriz has come out and said that there is a 20-seat margin plus minus based on the vote share, but 147 to 167. So it's a clear runaway win this election for the NDA. The INDIA 70 to 90 seats. JSP could break in into the metric with 0 to 2 seats, but the others are not getting too much. Now, if you look at the JVC poll, again 150 seats at the top for the NDA, 88 to 103 mark for the INDIA. But look at the overall average. There are those who believe that the INDIA could breach the 100 mark, but somewhere these numbers are very, very solid for the NDA. Is this now perhaps sealing the fact that the BJP, JDU plus HAM plus LJP is too difficult to beat for the MJP? Look at these numbers, the poll of poll numbers. Overall, if you were to see, the average or the median is about 140 seats for the NDA. Somewhere, if you were to see, the median comes around between the 140, 145 number for the NDA, and for the INDIA or the opposition, the MJB viewers, the number, if you were to look at it, somewhere around 80 seats. 80, 82 seats is what they are saying the MJB will get. Jan Suraj Party may not open its account if you were to look at the overall aspect, and others, there are others who could draw anywhere between 4 to 5 seats. 3 to 4 seats if you were to look at these numbers. Now, Dainik Bhaskar, People's Insight, JVC poll, Matriz, and of course the News 18 phase 1 projections. We'll get you the phase 2 numbers in a bit. Nalin Mehta, your thoughts?
What if these numbers hold up? And like Rahul was saying, we have to preface every comment with that. If they do hold up, it kind of is a huge vote of confidence for the Nitish model and for this alliance. And there's a couple of things to be said on that, because Bihar is one of the worst performing states in the country on both on nominal GDP and on GSDP and on real GSDP. However, so if you look at FDI numbers, if you look at growth numbers, even Jharkhand grows faster than Bihar, right? So what explains this governance model or this political model after 4? One of the things that Bihar has done well, despite having very little investment, like last year it just got FDI of 215 million. There are no jobs in Bihar, but Bihar has very high social sector spending. Bihar spends about half of its revenue receipts on social spending, and that model has been at the heart of the Nitish Kumar model from the beginning, so starting with funding for women and so on and so forth. Yeah. So while the state is unable to enable the conditions for capital investment, for private sector and jobs and all of that, which is why you have the migrant factor which is so big in Bihar. For those that remain, the state is providing a safety net which is better than before, and that has got something to do with the other. Otherwise, you would have a massive change. So it's an interesting model, I think. And now with the freebies that have been promised by both sides, the numbers just don't stack up. If the cost is about 60,000 crores, if you if the Mahagadban's promises are to be fulfilled, and about 36,000 crores if the NDA's promises are to be fulfilled.
No, but so I asked this on the first day of polling as well, Rahul. I mean, isn't this at some level a failure of the political opposition there, that they're not able to make this the number one issue, that there's a lack of jobs, there's a lack of employment opportunities, that young people have to leave, and a lot of young people are talking about that. I mean, why do we have to get out of the state?
I mean, 1 in 4 voters are youth voters in the state, and I've already brought out through the statistics that were collected on the back of a caste survey, if you remember, the economic survey that was conducted in Bihar, that a large number of them are earning less than 6,000 rupees. It's a hugely remittance economy. Everyone is sort of out of the state. There are no jobs to be had, hardly any industry. But the fact of the matter is, if you've got one leader who is a challenger talking about SIR and another one talking about bread and butter issues, and both of them are not being able to marry what they believe should be the common narrative, you've got a problem. Fundamentally, a day before polling, you have Rahul Gandhi talking about Haryana and vote chori in Haryana. Look at the message that is going out. Look at PK, for instance, and someone mentioned that they didn't even have a manifesto out. So fundamentally, you have a problem where I think the voter is saying that, look, better the devil we know. We're better off with one lot.
In elections,
let's stick with them. We don't quite know what we're going to face on the other side. I mean, that's my only.
But Rahul, we know in elections, we know in the applied side of politics, in elections, it is not manifesto, but it's money that matters. And for the first time in Bihar, money has come in a. Let me complete. Bihar, money has come in a big way, both informal way or in a formal way also. 10,000 rupees going to women. Of course, it is also perhaps would if these numbers hold true, would be a game changer. It's a different thing. I can always comment that it took 20 years for people to realize that the women deserve 10,000 rupees, or women deserve the economy deserves that makhana and makai they were talking about. What was Nitish Kumar doing for 20 years?
But that's also a question to the opposition. No, I mean if nothing has happened, why are they not able to pin it on him?
I think Tejasvi, who's the face of the opposition in Bihar, made constantly from the day one kept making that berozgari, unemployment as a major issue. You can mock Rahul Gandhi and go on, but Rahul Gandhi was making a very different point.
That there was a period of time when Mr. Tejasvi Yadav, not so long ago, was in power.
No, it's like saying
why didn't he in 20 days create this massive...
I have an important question to ask. Irrespective of whether people bought it or not, if the result is true, Rashi, what does this mean for Rahul Gandhi? Now, after 2024, then this would be the third big reverse, right? You would have Haryana, you would have Maharashtra, and now Bihar. What does it mean for Rahul Gandhi and this whole campaign of vote chori and all of that, right? What does it mean really?
See, first of all, I think it is wrong and very casual to link, such issues to, outcome. We have first past the post system, and that verdict is acceptable. But the verdict doesn't mean that it would end all those allegations on some of them are very
he himself is saying that the Yuva must vote on this issue.
Absolutely. But if Yuvas have not voted, that doesn't mean the issue is settled.
No, see, sir, it is not that, sir.
Free and fair elections are very important.
May I very humbly present a sporting analogy?
Yeah.
Right. Sir, you don't take a tennis racket to a cricket match. Whatever is the pitch and whatever is the issue there, you have to use the instrument that works there. Correct.
But the umpire need not be Shakur Rana.
No, and you don't. It is not even. What's the point? No. What's the point? What's the point?
He just took a cricket bat to a tennis match.
I remember Tribune had a headline that Javed Mirdad given LBW in Pakistan.
No, but how does it matter who the umpire is when you yourself have taken a tennis racket to a cricket match? Sir, that's simple. That's the point.
There's a serious question here. Not just about Rahul, but also about Tejasvi. This would be the second election we would have lost, and this is Lahu's last thing, right? What does it mean for RJD? Because RJD is a family-held party. We've seen what's happened to Shiv Sena and so on post Bal Thackeray. Now Lalu is still around, but if this result is there, does it change things for RJD?
Okay, this is was saying something, and then Rahul Verma.
Advani, they formed party BJP in 1980. They came to power in 1996 for 13 days. So these political parties, you see,
you need to have a plan.
I want to go back to the original question: is why did it take 20 years for all of this to happen? The point is that in 2000, after 2005, when Nitish came to power around 2008 or or around about 10, there were a huge number of stories that were done on the massive growth rate that, you know, Bihar's economy has suddenly shown. It had beat Gujarat and everything. The point was that the baseline was so low that whatever it showed an 11% growth rate, whereas a developed state like Gujarat, it was at 3% or 4%. And, you know, it was doing, of course, far better. But these are things that were being compared.
Yeah,
and
not
there's
absolute
apples
numbers,
and
but
oranges.
percentages.
This is your tennis and cricket ball here.
Yeah.
So it took some time. And the point is that if an opposition that was being, you know, made out to be the percussor of a jungle raj, so to speak, if they build up a campaign on jobs, etc., there is a degree of trust that is required, right? That was not getting. When I spoke to women, and I said, look, Nitish Kumar is not extremely well. There's a lot of gossip and talk going around that, you know, BJP will remove him, you know, halfway through his this thing. So do you still believe that he will give? He said, they said he will give. Otherwise, Modi ji will give. But Lalten will not give, we know it.
We know it. So there are two. There is a hedging of the risk in terms of the trust
factor. So there was a level of
This is a very
debate that
important
had
point.
to be crossed.
Yeah, we'll go to that after Rahul Verma speaks. He's been putting his hand up and we've not given him a chance. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
so just quickly 2 points. I think let's not reduce the election outcome to money, because if like money can help, but if that was the only thing, then Jagan Mohan shouldn't
Jagan
have
Mohan really
lost,
would have won.
Naveen Patnaik should not have lost, and incumbents would not lose, right? So
Correct.
I think if BJP or NDA comes back to power, I think it would be a combination of factors. Second point, I think Tejasvi did try to, at the end, make unemployment, jobs, palayan an issue. But the problem is two things. One, he came at that very last moment without any plan, and it's just like throw the number, right? You should have shown that there is a serious commitment to the unemployment issue, and you should have done some sort of like math to it. It become more problematic because of Prashant Kishor's continuous attack. That this person has not studied, even after being Chief Minister's son, he cannot have a plan, right? So what the challenge Tejasvi or even Nalin, what was he was pointing out with family parties is that they have both an advantage, which is that they get a legacy, so they have a 30% vote to begin with, but they also carry the burden of that legacy.
Right.
Become a
Right?
prisoner of
Yeah.
that.
See,
I want to add to what Rahul
I'll
is
be
saying.
honest. I'll be honest. This time around, didn't go to Bihar, but I met Biharis in New Zealand. I met Biharis here in Noida. I met Biharis in Bangalore. You know, 2-3 things which was common across all, you know, thousands of miles apart, and this one. One, बाढ़ का कुछ कीजिए. बाढ़ का solution कौन देगा? हमको जितना the move displacement because of floods which is happening is an issue. Nobody has spoken about it, and find a solution for that was a core issue. Not many parties raised it. Second thing they said, कुछ लोग 20 साल से एक जगह से उनका घर का constituency है, पर घर से गंगा पार जो है, they could not build a puliya. This puliya has been built by Nitish and Modi. Then Patna में airport, Purnia में airport, हमने जिंदगी में we didn't even dream, did not even dream that this is going to happen. So if they can do this, and the last one, 10,000 रुपया दिया है, so this came from the ground also, that अगर पैसा दिया है तो उसका हिसाब जो कहते हैं ना नून का हिसाब, जो नमक का हिसाब, that will have to be. That came from Arunima was also talking about that. Even on ground, there were people who said the same thing. But this came from a collective Bihari sentiment. That was the other.
Sandeep
yeah,
Shastri
yeah.
was.
Sandeep Shastri ji, yes, sir.
Finally you came to me.
That is the reason why, this is Anand here, that's the reason why we request you and urge you to come and join us in the studio. Sometimes there are so many in the studio, we forget there is somebody outside. Please go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Your thoughts on these numbers so far?
I think if the numbers which you have just now discussed is what we will see on Friday, I think it's very clear that the Mahagathbandhan was not able to get its act together. The Congress was clearly the weak link in that alliance. There was no meeting of minds, no similarity of voice in the campaign. And on the other hand, NDA had a very, very well developed campaign. No chief minister candidate officially announced. The BJP led with the prime ministerial phase. The JDU led with its leader. And I think it worked for both the parties. The JDU supporters saw their leader in their campaign. The BJP went ahead with its campaign with the Prime Minister's face. The LJP was not a negative link for the JDU this time. And I think this, if these numbers hold, works good for the NDA. And I think it's very clear that the trust quotient, be it of the youth, be it of the women, the trust quotient is significantly higher for the NDA. But of course, we must take that insurance policy, assuming that this turns out to be right on Friday.
As per the exit polls so far, BJP Bihar mein Kaaba, NDA ki sarkar ba. That's what it looks like. Yes, Nalin.
Three numbers here to put context to these results if they hold. The per capita income of Bihar is 33,966 rupees based on the last data we have.
Right.
Compare that with UP.
Right.
UP is 51,898
Right.
and Jharkhand is almost double at 64,347.
Right.
So, in a state which is so poor even compared to UP or Jharkhand or Madhya Pradesh, the other Bimaru states, Bihar is a laggard in the Bimaru states. If
Right.
you have a result like this, if these numbers hold, it can only be explained by the politics of Vishwas. While the economy may not have significantly changed, something has happened there where Nitish Kumar remains the one person that people trust, which is what Nitya was saying.
Right, and they got this time around. The BJP did not make any mistakes about putting. In fact, they course corrected. The first set of posters that were put at the BJP headquarters, election war room, and that region in that 5-star hotel did not have too many Nitish's pictures. Ab ki baar NDA Sarkar was written, but Nitish was not there. Then they changed those posters. Yes, Rahul.
One small point that I just wanted to add to what Nalin was saying, and perhaps you might have a take on it. I just feel that fundamentally you might want to sort of look at once again the way the maths has taken shape in the alliances. And I think we don't have vote share data, which would have been very instrumental in looking
but I think
really.
he'll release the vote share
Okay,
after
that
he
would
gives
be
both
wonderful.
the phases.
Because
This is Abhi right now projections based on phase one.
We're jumping to conclusions about conversions. We don't know how close these fights are on the ground level. So I think if we can get some of that vote share data, if it's 1% here and 1% there, then things are not as, rock solid.
Last time it was just 2%.
Yeah,
right?
It was less than 2%.
Less than 2%.
1%.
And I think in last time my memory serves
was
me right,
0.7 or
the MJB won phase one in terms of vote
Yes,
share,
they did.
4% gap,
Which were won
and
by
2 and
margin
3
of
is when
less
they
than
pulled up.
5%.
Less than
That
5%.
area, the
Few seats here and there.
NGB swept.
Yeah.
They would have changed the entire election.
There are a number of swing seats.
Yeah, and this time around there were no comments around caste, around reservation. There were no comments that came from the Sangh or anything that could be blown out of proportion. They were very, very careful. Viewers, we're going to just quickly take a look at all the numbers. The poll of polls is flashing on the screen. Can we go full screen? Because there are a lot of pollsters who have come on it. Big numbers that are coming in. Let's try and look at it. Here are the numbers. Let's try and look at these numbers as we walk closely and look at them. Matriz at the top at 147. Is there an outlier that we see? There is no outlier, but there are two pollsters who are giving the Mahagathbandhan more than 100 seats. Two pollsters who are giving more than 100 seats to the MJB. In fact, nearly 110 seats is Chanakya strategy, which is perhaps giving the lowest number for the NDA at 130. Most of the pollsters are giving more than 135 seats, nearly about 140 seats to the NDA overall in this. So 140 seats means a better performance than the last time around. 140 seats is a better performance than the last time around for the NDA. Jan Suraj hasn't been able to make too much of an impact except for PMark, which is giving it nearly up to 4 seats at the top end, and People's Pulse, which is about 5 seats. The rest aren't. The others, there could be a huge amount of dent there, and there may be those. Dainik Bhaskar surprisingly giving the outer number or the higher number of 10 to the others there. That's quite surprising. There is People's Pulse, which is also saying 8. Who are these people who are wait and watch? Matriz is also saying 2 to 8 seats to others. So that's interesting. What's the highest number? The highest number that's been given is 167 by Matriz, right at the top there for the NDA, and the highest number for the INDIA alliance or the MGB is Chanakya Strat at 108 seats. That's the variance that we are getting, but somewhere 140 seats for the NDA overall.
All right. So just as